All right, so today we're diving into something pretty cool. You sent us some info about Alreflections Digital Creative. It looks like a nonprofit, but
Well, it's kind of more than that, isn't it?
yeah, way more.
Like they're calling themselves this what was it? A digital think tank?
Yeah, think tank and
Yeah.
a training center almost.
Right, but they really emphasize that influence part, like they want to actually shape the future of technology, which, I mean, that's pretty ambitious, right?
Yeah, it is.
So to figure this out, you sent us a bunch of stuff from their website. We've got articles about programming languages. Oh, and like Python and C++A. There's also some info about their courses and the tools they're building. And then there's this provides media thing that keeps popping up. It's like, what even is that?
I know, right?
So let's start with one of the articles you sent. It's about Python classes and modules. And it definitely seems like they're talking to people who already know some code, you know?
Yeah, for sure. This isn't like intro to Python or anything. It's more advanced.
Right, so maybe they're thinking about like students or professionals who already work in tech, you know?
Yeah, could be. And it's interesting that they're focusing on Python.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, Python's super popular, right? Like everyone's using it these days. It's used for web development, which, Alreflections has stuff on that too. They're also used in data analysis and even like artificial intelligence and stuff.
Oh, right. You also sent us those articles about building a website and that simple calculator project.
Oh, yeah. Those are like the classic beginner projects,
Totally. So maybe Alreflections is trying to create this this kind of learning pathway, you know? Like you start with the basics and then you can move on to more complicated stuff.
I see what you mean. And there's also that article you sent about just like the basics of website development in general, right?
Right. It's like a broad overview of everything.
Yeah, so it's almost like they're laying the groundwork first.
And then they dive right back into Python. There's a whole series on setting up Python and like variables and decision making and stuff.
That's really interesting. It makes me think that maybe they're giving us a sneak peek at the actual curriculum they use.
Yeah.
For those certificate courses they have.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot about those. They do have that whole section about those courses on their website.
Right. So they're definitely serious about this whole education thing. But then there's this whole other side to them. With the tools they're building.
Oh, yeah.
Like iBlink and Everywhere Blogger.
I know. What are those even? Just the names are like so intriguing. And then there's that Athena search engine, building your own search engine. I mean, come on.
Right. That's like next level stuff.
Totally.
It makes me think that Alreflections is, it's more than just an educational organization,
What do you mean?
Well, they're building tools, platforms, all this stuff. It's almost like they're trying to create this whole ecosystem for digital creativity.
An ecosystem. I like that. So they're not just teaching people to code, but they're giving them the tools to actually build things.
Exactly. And maybe even a place to share those creations.
That makes sense. Okay, so then we've got this provides media thing. We keep seeing it everywhere. Like there's a button to subscribe on their blog, and it's mentioned in the footer of the website.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
But what is it?
I don't know. It's a real mystery.
Okay, so we've got Python, web development, hints of a curriculum, tools with crazy names, a search engine, and this provides media mystery.
Don't forget the C++ stuff you sent, too.
Oh, right. 2 articles about C++, though. One about C++ classes and enumerations and structures, and another about C++ escape sequences and macros and all that.
Yeah, C++ along with Python.
I wonder why they'd cover both.
Well, C++ is it's known for being really powerful, and it's used for things like game development and like high-performance computing.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they want to teach people both languages so they can work on different kinds of projects.
Right, so they're giving people options instead of just focusing on one path.
Exactly. It's like they're thinking about the big picture of the whole world of digital creativity.
Okay, things are starting to get interesting. We're seeing the pieces. But how do they all fit together? What's the bigger picture that Alreflections is aiming for? Let's keep digging and see if we can figure it out.
Yeah, it's like they want people to actually use what they learn, not just, read about it.
Right, like learning by doing. And that reminds me of this Provides Media thing. Like at the end of their blog post, there's this prompt that says, subscribe to Provides Media. And then on their website, there's a button that just says, loading. Like it's still being built or something.
Maybe it's something brand new they're working on, alongside all their educational stuff.
Oh, and on their website, under the offers menu, there's a section called digital products.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's where Profides Media comes in.
Yeah.
Like, what if it's a platform for selling digital products?
Like what kind of digital products?
Well, they could offer online courses like we were talking about, or ebooks, maybe even creative tools or, design assets.
So the idea is Alreflections teaches you the skills. Then you can create things using their tools and then sell those creations through Profides Media.
It's possible, right? It's
Okay.
like this whole ecosystem for digital creatives.
Wait, hold on. When you say ecosystem, what do you mean exactly?
Oh, good point. So imagine this. People learn on Our Reflections,
Right.
right? Then they use Our Reflections tools to create stuff, and then they sell those things on Profides Media. And the money from those sales goes back into Our Reflections, which lets them make more courses and build more tools.
Whoa, that's actually really clever. And it totally fits with their whole mission, influencing creative technologies. It's like they're not just teaching, they're building this whole environment where those technologies can actually exist.
Right, exactly. But it makes you wonder, like, who are they trying to reach with all this?
Yeah, good question.
Like, is it for people who want to become professional web developers? Or is it more for, like, hobbyists?
Or maybe even people who are already like established creators.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, their content seems to be for a lot of different people. Like those basic web dev projects are good for beginners. But the Python and C++ stuff is definitely more advanced.
The tools, too, like iBlink and Everywhere Blogger. Those names sound like they're for a more general audience.
Everywhere Blogger sounds like it's for anyone who wants to, like,
Sure.
write and share their thoughts online.
Yeah, exactly. And that connects back to Profides Media, too.
Oh, right. Like maybe Everywhere Blogger is the tool you use to create the content you then sell on Profides Media.
Yeah, it's like this whole pipeline for creativity.
Okay, my mind is blown. But wait, what about the Athena search engine? That seems totally different.
Yeah, like what if it's not just a regular search engine?
What if it's a search engine specifically for digital creatives?
Whoa, yeah.
Like a way to find tutorials, design inspiration, or even like other creators to collaborate with.
That would be amazing.
And it would all be within the Alreflections ecosystem.
It'd be like Google, but just for creative tech stuff.
That's such a good idea.
You could search for like specific coding problems
Hmm.
or find examples of, different design styles.
And then you could connect with other people working on similar projects, which
Exactly.
would give Alreflections so much influence, right? Because they'd be controlling the flow of information within this whole creative world.
It's like they want to be the central hub for everything creative,
Learning, building, sharing, connecting.
all happening in their little world.
This is getting really meta, but we still don't know what Profides Media actually is.
I know. It's a big mystery.
Is it a platform? A network? A subscription service?
And how does it all connect back to Our Reflections mission?
We need to keep thinking about that
Ah.
as we go through the rest of this information. But what's standing out to you the most so far? What about Our Reflections is like the most interesting to you?
Honestly, it's the potential impact they could have. Like if they can actually pull this off, they could totally change how creative people work and learn.
Yeah, the possibilities are huge. Okay, let's dive back into those sources and see what else we can find, especially about Profides Media. Yeah, it's like, how does this all actually work? Like, how do they make money?
Right, because even nonprofits got to pay the bills.
Exactly.
Well, Profides Media is this platform we're thinking of, for distributing content and stuff. They could easily do, like, paid subscriptions,
Oh, yeah.
like for premium content, kind of like Netflix or Spotify.
Right. Or they could, like,
But that
take
guy,
a cut of the sales, right? If people are selling stuff on the platform.
oh, yeah, definitely, like a commission.
Like an app store, but
Yeah.
for, like, creative tools or courses or whatever.
Exactly. I bet it's probably a combination of both,
That would be smart.
subscriptions and commissions.
And it would make those certificate courses even more valuable. Like, you get certified and then you can actually make money using your skills.
Totally. It all feeds back into itself.
Like a perfect loop.
People learn on Our Reflections, they create stuff, they sell it on Profides Media, the money goes back to Our Reflections, and they use that to make even more courses and tools.
It's like the self-sustaining system.
Right. And everyone wins.
But it all comes back to that idea of influencing creative technologies, right? Like, how does Profides Media help them do that?
Well, if they become, like, the main place where creative people share and sell their work, they'll have a lot of power to decide,
Yeah.
what gets seen and what gets promoted.
Oh, I see.
Like, they could highlight certain trends,
Ours big.
give more exposure to, like,
Yeah.
up-and-coming creators. you know?
And maybe even set, like, industry standards for how things are done.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd be like the tastemakers of the creative world.
And they could even
Oh,
fund new projects that they think are interesting.
yeah. Wow, so they're not just influencing, they're actually shaping the future.
Right. It's pretty ambitious.
Okay, so let's just recap everything for a second. Alreflections is not just a nonprofit. They're building this whole ecosystem for creative people. They teach you the skills, they give you tools to create, they have a platform for you to sell your work, and they even have a search engine to connect everything.
Yeah, and Profides Media is like the key to making it all work.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this one. From Python to search engines, Alreflections is doing a lot.
It's really impressive, actually.
It makes you wonder, like, what role will organizations like this play in the future, as technology keeps changing and evolving?
Yeah, will they be the ones who, like, support and empower the next generation of creators?
That's a good question to think about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.